Yes.
Good afternoon, everyone. Let's give a couple of minutes for all the participants to join in before we start our webinar for today. So good afternoon, everyone. I'm Swati Shanmughan, Product Manager for Audit 360, and it's a really pleasure to welcome all of you to today's session on the new review module. Thank you so much for taking your time to join us. The new review module marks a very significant step forward in our journey to make the audit review process much smarter, faster, and sharper. It has been thoroughly designed with a clearer interface, streamlined navigations, and deeper insights, all to help the reviewers to work more efficiently and enjoy a smoother and better experience. In today's session, we'll be giving you a first look at the new module and its key enhancements, a walkthrough of how it works, and an overview of the migration and the transition plan to help you and your teams to move over seamlessly. The demo will be led by Ramya Vupula, a product owner who has been closely involved in shaping and refining the module right from its early stages. As we go through the session, please feel free to post your questions or comments in the question and Q&A session chat window on the right side of your screen, and we'll take them up towards the end or during the session. However, we'll be having our dedicated Q&A segment towards the end as well. So before we start the webinar, I would like to brief you on the migration and the transition plan. I'm happy to share that the new review module will officially go live on 15th October 2025. To make the transition smooth, both the current and the new review module will run in parallel until 15th November. That is, this 1 month window will give your reviewers enough time to explore and get comfortable with the new experience before the older version is phased out. To support your team, we'll be releasing a YouTube product to video and an in-product guided tool, both designed to help you easily navigate and discover the new features. And it's very important to note that your existing review workflows will remain unchanged. So the new module is built on your current process while adding more clarity, structure, and insight. And throughout this transition, our Audit 360 Spock and the support team will be right there to assist and ensure a smooth migration for each and every one of you. Once again, Thank you for being with us today. And we are truly excited to take you through this next chapter in the Audit 360 review experience. Over to you, Ramya.
Thanks, Swati, for the quick introduction and the sharing the migration plan. Just allow me a minute to share the screen. So here today, as the launch for all the production servers are happening in the mid of the week, in the coming week. So I'll be giving the walkthrough on our test server, which would have a detailed walkthrough could be given with whatever the module changes we have brought in, the UI changes and other things will be part of the demo. And just to start with, I'm logging into the application. And as you all will be having a new review audit module launched, both old review audit module and a new review audit module will be made available. So currently, the current review audit module, what we have is when you land on to the new review audit, the old review audit module, you need to search the details by different criteria, and basis your need, you may need to choose the criteria and search for the detail. To overcome this particular challenge on the landing page, we have introduced a focused screens made available for each of the audit execution statuses which we have. So the audits schedules which needs to undergo a review, which have already have gone a review, which is expected to be an upcoming audit review, will all those schedules will be part of the review audit module, and it would be categorized into different trays basis the focus screens and the details being shown on it. The one disclaimer which I would like to mention is that the new review audit module brings in a UI level change, more improvements to the experience of the module, and the better performance and the insights to the schedules. However, the existing workflows, the requirements of review, all those are being intact and there are no change being made. So workflow wise, there is no change, just the experience on on the review audit module has been enhanced here. To start with the new review audit module, the review audit module which gets released to you would have a product tour, which you would see an icon which has been highlighted with the start product tour. This product tour would be available on key screens like the landing page, where the detail listing page, and also on the review page is also available. So on click of the start review, once you are doing it for the first time, the tour will be auto-populated on your screen, and you can take a tour by reading out on the details by click of next. In case you do not want to start the tour, you can even skip this. But even when there is a reference in which you would like to go back and check how this been review audit model has been designed, what is to be done, those cases we need to have the check on the product tour can be clicked and review can be done. So for now, I'm just closing this for the walkthrough purpose because I'm going to give you a detailed walkthrough on the new review audit module. One request for all of you, as we give a walkthrough on different screens on the review audit module, if there are any queries, any comments or feedback, we request you to please use the Q&A section and write on this. So our team will be addressing those, and in between the walkthrough or at the end of the session, all your Q&A will be addressed in the same forum. To start with, if in the landing page, we have the first tab, which is in review. In review are those schedules where the reviews are being initiated and the execution status is in the in review process. So once the review has been initiated and the status is changed to in review, all those schedules for the particular user on this role will be listed in the in review. So this focus tray of information is being designed so that you need not go and keep searching or scrolling for the details. Rather, basis the mode of action required, it is being auto-populated where the actions are. If there are no schedules in review, then there will be no schedules which will be populated. However, if you would need to have a further search, through an advanced search can be done, which I will be explaining in the later stage. So in review would have the schedules which are in review status, and in this screen you would have the option of search, which you can search from the below table available if in case you would want to pick up the audits which is done by Mr. Anil, I will be able to pick up the audits which is done by Anil here. So anything which is on the below table can be searched in this smart search. It also has a filter. So within the data which has been available for in review, the schedule which is available, if you would like to do a filter at a schedule ID level or at a audit type level or an auditee or on the auditor, the execution status will be only in review. So by this you can even apply a filter to do the activity. So for example, if I would want to select something, I will be able to click on search and see the required information on the screen. This is on the filter, and it also can be exported. The details what is there in the below table can be exported into CSV and PDF. These three features, which is the smart search, filter, and the export to CSV and PDF, will be available in all the screens, the tabs which is shown on the landing screen for the review audit module. Now coming to the details in the table below, this details will continue to have the details like schedule ID, which is the audit type, the auditee which for which the audit has been happened, who was the auditor, then the schedule details for which it was being scheduled, number of issues which was identified in the audit. So this in the particular schedule itself on the landing page, we are trying to show the number of issues which has been identified, which can give a fair idea for an reviewer to know how the audit has been performed and which of the sub schedules which has maximum, and decide if we would like to start with the review or continue with the review with the schedules which has a maximum or a lower number issues here. Then we are also showing the review percentage. As we are already in the in review stage of the schedules, as the reviews are being initiated, the review percentages are being populated for a reference for the user to know how much of the review has been completed for this schedule. So this percentage is computed on click of the schedule. You will be able to know the pending checkpoints for review, which is out of the 23, there are 22 checkpoints which are being yet to be done. So there's only one checkpoint which is being reviewed. So basis the completion of the review percentages are being computed, and the status which shows, and we have an action which will have continue to review, because these are in review. You need to continue the review. The action will be given as continue to review, then review summary and the reports. So to the review summary, I will be taking up later once we finish on different tabs available on the screen. So in this in review, we are talking about the review percentage. Now let's see what is there in the ready for review. Ready for review are those schedules which are in the accepted stage and which is pending for review. So the users get all those schedules which are awaiting review in be queued up here, and it will be shown. The sorting of the data will be done basis the aging of the schedules which are pending for review. And by default, we are showing all the schedules which is aging more than 3 days. So whichever schedules which is aged more than 3 days are being shown in the below list. However, the aging is being calculated the basis the date of acceptance status to the today's the current date. The aging is being calculated. So if I have any schedules for which the execution, sorry, if the execution status was being tagged as accepted where the sign off was completed, then if the status is accepted as on today, which is on 10th, so my aging would show us it is pending for 10 days, and because it is falling on above more than 3 days, it will be listed in the below table. So here we would be able to know which are the schedules which has with the aging details, the issues number also, with the relevant common information, which is schedule ID, audit type, auditee, auditor, then the schedule details, number of issues, and the statuses for which the schedules which has been listed with the action buttons will be listed in this table below. Now, if you would, because we are showing the information which is for more than 3 days, if you would like to know which are the schedules which is even less than, which is more than 2 or 1 day, because you would want even the initial ones to be coming in. So then you can even just change this into one and the data would be changed accordingly. Now let us take, we would want to only pick up the aging which is for more than 100 days. So I will just type as 100. So whichever schedules for which there is a aging beyond 100 days is been filtered and shown here for reference. So this is a editable field. By default, it will be in the 3, and we can modify this basis our need and pull out the relevant schedule here. And this particular schedules would have an action of start execution because these are pending for review to be initiated for review. So it would have the action as start review, whereas in review, the action was talking about continue review. And then it would also have a review summary and reports. Reports would be applicable only when the audits are being finalized. So this 3 action button will be there and the activities can be taken up accordingly. And additionally, the schedules which are under ready for review, on click of the schedule will give you details on out of the issues, which is 2 issues or whatever the number of issues we have raised, against which how many of the issues has any direct resolution, re-examine request or spot resolution, as this information would be an action to be done by the reviewer. Hence, we are showing this information on the screen, which can give a clear identification to the reviewer to know that if there are any direct re-examine or spot resolution which needs to be handled out of the issues, then they could know how much time they would be spending or what would be the action required on these of the schedules. So this is on the in review and ready for review. Any queries to attend, Swati, till here?
No, Ramya, nothing as of now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, Swati.
No, I'm just saying, everyone, please feel free to post your questions and feedbacks in the chat window. Our team will review and answer it during the session itself.
I'll continue. So we have covered in review and ready for you. Next tray, what we have is upcoming review. These upcoming reviews are those schedules which are expected to come for review in some time period of the time, because these are the schedules which are being scheduled and are in different stages. What are those schedules which they would come under the upcoming review are? So these execution status which are in schedule which is in not started, the schedules which are in progress, schedules which are in submitted, schedules which are in re-audit, re-audit in progress, re-audit submitted, and submission in progress, as well as the lapsed audits which are being scheduled and being yet to be actions. Those all those schedules will be categorized under upcoming audits. And because the reason why this has been categorized under upcoming audit is for an user to know that what set of schedules are expected to come in future for to be falling under ready for review. And also, if in continue would like to have a view of the in progress audits also, they will be allowed to do it. So I would select here in progress, or let me take the filter and take the execution of in progress schedules. So I would search for in progress schedule. So these are the schedules which are in progress. I can just go inside and look for review summary, and the details can be checked if there are any execution being done on a details over here. So I will just come back to this screen once we finish on the different rays. So these are the schedules which are yet to be falling under for ready for reviews, will be categorized under upcoming audits. And the details will continue to follow with schedule ID, audit type name, auditee, auditor, schedule details, and the statuses against it with the action button. And the search, smart search, filter, and export will continue to be there. Next phase is the reviewed audit. Reviewed audits are those audit schedules where the action of review is being completed and are in finalized or closed status. So all the audits which are in finalized or closed status will be listed in this tray, and it would have the similar details of schedule ID, audit type, auditee, auditor, schedule details, and the number of issues which is against a particular schedule will be available with the current statuses of those schedules will be listed with the action button, which will have a review summary and review summary and reports. The view review will allow you to move inside and have a view of all those checkpoints which have been reviewed and finalized. So this is on the review audit summary, and these are different tabs in which the schedules would be categorized. Now coming to the bulk finalized audits, these bulk finalized schedule audits are for those audit schedules where the bulk finalization configuration is enabled in the configure audit module, plus the audit schedules are in accepted stage. As the configuration of bulk finalized been enabled and it is in accepted stage, all those schedules will be listed here and the user can do a select all or an individual selection or a multi-selection to finalize. They can add a remarks and click on the finalize. This feature also with this screen also will have a smart search, filter and export to this. If there are no schedules which are in accepted, nor there are schedules which is not does not have a bulk finalized audit, then this tray would be blank with no schedules. As and when there are schedules, we will be able to see this information here. Now the last screen or the tab in the particular screen is advanced filter. So all the other trays had a filter option which was limited to the schedules which were listed here. However, in the advanced filter, the user will be able to pick or filter any of the audits irrespective of the different schedules or the classification. So if I would want to pick up an audit type by search, I'll be able to do by audit type or an auditee or an auditor, executive status, anything of the choice or combination can be applied and the search can be done, which would be checked across all the schedules with whatever the filter option we've been applied and the details will be shown. For the walkthrough purpose, I have selected one of the audit type and clicking on search, and you could see that the all the details of the all the schedules of process and center audits are being listed here, and it has all different statuses. So irrespective of the bucket category, in the advanced filter you will be where you will be able to search with different information which will be on a consolidated details to you. And these all the schedules, the action buttons will be as per the execution status. So if you see the finalized audit would have an action of review, whereas the schedules with accepted would have an action of start review, and similarly the schedules with in review would have a state will have the action button of continue review. So these are the functions which would on the landing page the screens would be available, and we will be moving now for the action based walkthrough. Before that, I just wanted to check if there are any queries to be handled, Swati.
No, Ramya, nothing as of now.
Okay, then I would like to continue on the view summary. So before we go into the review module on the checkpoint side, first I would like to cover the review summary. The review summary is the summary which was earlier in the old review audit module. The summary was given with the basic details, sub-audit level information on the checkpoints, widgets, all that are being covered in the summary, which is being kept outside. And you could also see that there is a report as an action on the screens, which will be shown only for those audits which are in finalize. All the report, the relevant report which is associated for a particular schedule will be listed here. And what we have tried achieving in the new UI is that earlier in the review audit module, when you had to generate a report or review a report, you had to go to a review audit module, search for a particular schedule, select for a schedule, go inside, select on a summary, and then you will be able to fetch the reports. Here, instead of doing that, we are trying to keep the reports outside the review screen, which is on the landing page against the schedule will be listed. On this screen itself, the relevant reports can be generated and used here. So these are the reports which will be mapped and then you can access in the action button itself. Next is on the review summary. In the review summary, we have tried to give something a little unique and informative in the review summary side. Earlier, we had only audit summary which had a basic details about the schedule. So which is an audit type, the code of the auditee, who is an auditee, auditor, when was it scheduled, who had executed it, who had finalized it, what was the rating of it. All this as part of the basic summary is being displayed here, and the sub-audit level details is also shown where you will be able to look at the which were what is the sub-audit level achieved score and the current status, and to see if there are any issue summaries with the widgets, which gives you a visualization on the issue summary at a sub-audit level, and if there are any pending checkpoints for review. Oh, just a minute. I just wanted to check if it is audible. If someone can confirm me that if it is audible or any challenges faced.
It's audible for me, Ramya.
I got a feedback that they were not able to hear. So anyway, I'll just, can someone confirm that if you're able to hear? Okay, I'm continuing because I've got heard that it has been cleared to others. So here on the sub-audit list, we are showing the sub-audit level summary, and if there are any pending, because it's in finalized stage, the pending reviews are shown 0. Otherwise, you would, if it is in review stage, the pending checkpoints will also be shown here. Now on next you have is audit closure. In case if the audit is in closed status, then the comments would be reflected here. If there are any recommendation or observation which is being provided during the audit submission by an auditor will be displayed in this summary, and it also has an issue summary which gives you graphical information which will say the list of issues which had high, low, and medium issue with the status of whether how many of them were closed and the breakup of the closure of issues basis the issues which were raised here. And if we have enabled any group level tagging at a schedule of the audit type level, and if the any of the group has been tagged as any, the list of group names will be listed here for reference purpose. So this is on the summary, which has been carried forward from the older format with slight changes into it. Additionally, we have provided two new tabs in the summary. These two tabs gives a more informative information, and all these are for the information purpose and does not have any navigation to it, but gives you a snapshot or a snippet on how an audit has been happened at a schedule level. So let us first cover the audit snapshot. Audit snapshot gives you to say that how many of the sub-audits were being executed, against which how many issues were identified, and out of the issues identified, which of the what are the number of issues which has the actions to be taken. And if you also see the breakup of those information of the 8 which you am representing in the demo, it also gives a breakup of out of the 8, how many are direct resolution, how many had some action required from the additional parameter, how many had re-examined, and spot resolution. So in the demo, what I'm providing, it says there are 4 direct resolution and 4 spot resolution which needs to be reviewed by the reviewer while doing the review. And this audit snapshot gives you an snippet of the information which is pertaining to the current audit schedule which has been executed. So this gives you a summarization on how the particular audit schedule has been executed here. So first was on the sub-audit and the issues. Next, you will also be able to know if there were any zero tolerance or high issues which was identified, which the numbers would be populated here. And then what would be, if there are any auditor observation, what was the auditor observation given, what is the auditor recommendation given, and at an auditee sign-off level, out of the issues which is being raised, how many were accepted, how many were tagged as issue re-examined, and how many were in direct resolution. So this gives you a fair idea on how a particular schedule performance was in form of the issues which has been identified and in form of the auditee sign-off here. So this is on the snapshot, which is for current audit. But however, we have given you something as audit insight. Audit insight is a graphical presentation which gives you some information about how your current and the comparison with previous audits, the performance of the audits. So here in the snippet, what we have tried to achieve is different information are being populated in a graphical information, which can give you a fair idea on how a particular audit, especially it is for the particular schedule comparison with three past audits which has been executed. This will give you an insight on to know how a particular auditee was performing previously, and this past three audits are being taken for a information purpose so that you have a better comparison. If in case there is initially you have started and there are not three or schedules which has been available for comparison, with the available information the widgets would be shown here. It would always have, wherever we are doing a schedule comparison level, it will always have present plus previous three the observations would be there, which is for basis the frequency of audit which you have done. So it is not something that it is a monthly audit or anything. Whatever the frequency the audit has been executed, basis that the three previous audits would be taken up. So let us go one by one with what widgets we have. And I would like to add one point before I move ahead in the insight walkthrough. This audit insight, we can say it is a small dashboard at a review audit level for a schedule which has been given. And we have tried to give the similar such features which is available in the dashboard functionality of the standard dashboard. So it has a refresh option. It has the dashboard comments in case if you would like to add any comments here. You could also have move into a dark mode, and then a full screen mode also is possible. So these are the features which has been available. Similarly, at a widget level also, you can move into a full screen level, or you can just come out of the screen. Then you can add a widget comments also if required, and you can export into PNG, JPG, and PDF. Now and again additionally, each of like how in the dashboard you will be able to do a drill across or a drill through will be possible. The relevant ones will be enabled here. On click of the widget, you will have an option of drill down, drill through, or drill across basis what has been enabled here. And this particular insight would also have has a product walkthrough, which can be on click of this. You will be able to have a product walkthrough on what the audit snapshot or an audit insight would cover for. So this will give you a fair idea in case if you need any reference point of it. So coming to the widgets which has been displayed here, the first details what we are presenting is on the action required. So the basis the current schedule what is being executed against it, how many of the issues need an action has been populated here, which in the example which we saw, out of the 8 action required, there are 4 issues which needs direct resolution to be handled, 4 spot resolutions to be handled. So when we have re-examine and things, it will continue to have the widgets accordingly, and these widgets can be zoomed out and zoomed in basis our requirement. And you can also change these switch to the chart if we have an option of changing a chart here. So this is on the first widget. The second is on the risk count present for previous 3 audits. This information, the graphical information gives you how much of the how much of the issues were identified across the schedule, current schedule versus the last 3 schedules what we have. And here if you look at, we have the the count which has been highlighted at the schedule level. Now scrolling down a bit, next is a pattern of the issue. So out of the issues which has been raised in the current schedule, we will be able to know the pattern on the issue. Here I have only the new issue shown. However, this pattern of the issue shows that in comparison to the previous audits which has been happened with the Audit 360 logic of repeat and recur mapping, it checks for the issues which has been identified in the current schedule versus the previous audit to know if there were any repeat issue. If the same checkpoint has been identified previously, it will be tagged as repeat, but the same checkpoint which is identified in previous plus consecutive previous schedule, then it will be tagged as regression. With those logic, the pattern of the issue will be shown to give you a breakup to say how many of the issues were in repeat, recurring, and in new category. So this gives a fair idea for reviewer to know that how the audits performance has been and the issue hand wise the identification could also be given as an insight. Next is at the issue at a sub-audit level. Now there were three schedule, which is current plus the two schedule is what I'm able to present here because I had only two schedules previously done. So with that comparison, currently which of the sub-audits, which is process sub-audit, has the maximum number of issues, and previously also where we can see that the process audit was maximum, whereas in the one of the schedule the CGT process was having some of the issues. So at a sub-audit level breakage, in comparison to the previous audit, the issue count can be seen in this insight. Next is PI summary. I do not have a PI summary here to present. However, it can give you on the PI how many were executed, how many were not executed and tagged as not found. Next is a PI issue at a PI level. So whatever the schedules you have executed and the PI being executed, the number of issues will be highlighted here. When you have multiple PIs, the PIs can be highlighted in this widget. Next comes is the sign-off summary. So sign-off summary is again also at a schedule ID level, which gives you a comparison with the number of issues which were raised, out of which how many were direct resolution was done and how many were in normal issues resolution was being taken up. And currently also in the current audit, how many were in direct and normal execution, the breakup can be given at a schedule level. Next is at the sub-audit level, similar set summary is given at a sub-audit level. Next widget talks about the breakup of issues by schedule. So which of the similar on the issues which is against resolution being done, which is direct and the spot resolutions, out of which schedule and the sub-audits, these information were identified, can be the count as an insight has been provided here. And then we have a widget which talks about the recommendation and observation. So normally when the audits are submitted, during the submission, auditor can give an overall observation or a recommendation. All those recommendation and observation in comparison to the previous schedules will be populated here, which can give a fair idea for a reviewer to know that what is the current observation and recommendation comparatively with previous audits, so that they know that if there are any recommendation which is coming repeatedly, if it is not been answered, there are observations which are being highlighted, but still there are no improvement. So this information is important if you provide here can give a fair idea on how the audits been performing or the auditees are performances are also be to be there. And the last table in the inside we are showing is the audit life cycle. So the current audit schedule, what we have, the life cycle of that schedule will be presented here, which starts from the schedule creation date till the audit finalized or closed status will be shown here, which would give you an information about key action areas against which the date of action with the timestamp and the day variance from each of these activities. So from the creation date to the start date, from start to submit, how much time was taken, from the submission to the acceptance, how many days were taken, the day variance are calculated, and who had taken this action is also will be populated in this table. So this will give you a fair idea on how audits was being planned and how it was being executed would be clearly mentioned on this information. So this is on the insight part. So this is a new feature we try to give you more visualization on the how the issues and the performance in comparison of the schedules which has been done. So this can summarize the details to the reviewer to know how an audit is performed, and they can plan to have a focused way of review and to decide on where they can be initiating the review process. So this is on the summary. Before I move into the review module, so is there any queries to be attended, Swati?
Yes, Ramya. Basically, on the risk level from the landing screen, if we can categorize the issues in the medium risk, low risk. The information in the review landing screen, we have the issues count which has been categorized. Can you just show them that? Okay.
1 second. You are saying to come on in review or
In
waiting for
The ready for review where we show the issue counts.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
There, Ramya, over the issue count.
So here, are you saying that they need a breakup? Yes. A
Yes, here
breakup
we are
is what you
showing the
want.
breakups.
Yeah.
Here we are
So on the mouse over on your issue count of issue, you'll be able to have this breakup of the risk level. How many of the issues were in zero tolerance, high, medium, or low will be breakup is available in this. So with mouse over, you'll be able to see this information. So this is available.
And one more question is, Ramya, if the finalized status is in review, will it be available in the bulk finalized list or not?
No, it would not be, because the bulk finalized audits can be done only on the accepted thing, because we, with the consideration that there will be no review expected here, and hence it is tagged under bulk review. If in case the status is in review, that means that the user, it needs an detailed review, hence it is moved into an in review stage. So it would not be appearing in the bulk finalized, it will be in the in review tab, and the user needs to continue to have the review in that tray.
One more question is, we have multi-level review activated. This new module is for whom? First level review or second level, or for both the reviewers?
To answer this UI or the review audit module will be applicable for all who are part of the multi-level review. Like similarly in the previous review audit module also, it is the same module being used, but the action button would vary and depending on the multi-level review. Similarly, here also when the review is happening, who the users who are in the level 1 or level 2 would have a recommend button, and the finalized authorized person would get an finalized button. The same approach will continue here. There is no change in the workflow, but the screens would be remain same for all the reviewer.
Yes, Ramya. Yeah,
That's
ma'am.
it. When I
Yeah.
move to the execution now.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm just coming to in review and I'm choosing an audit of process and center audit. I'm searching. So they have an audits which is there in review. I'm just continuing to review. So continue to review, start review, all that will land onto the same screen, and more or less we have try to utilize the same screen, because most of them spend time on doing a review audit and didn't bring much change there. So to land into, we have to do a first selection of the sub audit, just selecting all checkpoints here. If you would like to choose one or two and do a multi-selection, that is possible. And I'm just giving a search. So all the checkpoints for the sub-audit I have listed will be listed here, where you would have a similar legends and the table of details which caters into the checkpoint intent, the compliance against which has been there, the disposition selected. If there are any input value collected, those will be shown. What is the risk of the checkpoint? And the score applicable, the date and timing, there is a change which has been happened, otherwise it would be blank. And also if you could see earlier stage, the digital evidence mapping was given on the left hand side. Now we have tried to keep this digital evidence tagging at the left hand side, not from the right hand side. It will be linked with prefixed with the checkpoint internally. So this gives you an indication to say that there is a digital evidence which is available for this particular checkpoint. And we are also trying to reframe the all the issues into the single screen, so that the user need not do a scroll of the information from left to right or right to left, so that they can have a compact view in the same screen and the details can be seen in this manner. Additionally, we had continued to have a legends which works as a filter. However, against these legends, there is two minor changes which has been brought up. Each of the legends would have a count populated to say how many of the checkpoints are part of this legend category. So if you see a review screen, review successful has 30, and it also continued to work as filter. So this count is been shown as 30, and some of the widget would have zero count because there are no re-audit or there is no direct resolution. In those cases, there is a zero count and it will the filters would not work. So this will refrain from clicking on the legends unnecessary and when there is no data found, only for where the match data is there. Those legends are being active with the count shown for reference purpose. If I would like to choose only issues, I click on this, I can see all the issues which is listed here, and rest of the which legends will continue to have. And on top, we were showing the schedule ID, the auditee, and the code for reference. There is a back button to move back, and then the action buttons are being shown up. So this, because it's in the review stage, it's showing as a finalize. Whereas if it is in the multi-level review, it would have a recommend. If it is pending for review, it will have a review as a tab. And then if I would like to do a search by some of the details, I'll be able to do that, where I can click on to the search or jump to the separate sub-audit. I can, if I would want to, from the review screen, if I would want to go to the summary page, which I had demonstrated, I can just click on this and I can go back to the summary anytime for reference, because we are giving some snapshot and the insights here. The users can be moving around the screens as and when they're reviewing. Also, we have given this option of review access to the review summary, and then is this product tool, which can give you an information on how this particular module can be reviewed and be used also. And we continue to have a smart search in this screen. So when we have any of the issues, if I have to go click on, I can click on the edit, and you could see that all the details on the checkpoint level details are being shown here. We have retained all the current relevant information which is shown in the checkpoint review screen, and just that we have organized the data in a manner that it has some grouping of information. So here the detail would talk about the checkpoint related information. Then it would have the details which is checkpoint related, which is not editable information like group, checkpoint intent, definition. Those are being shown first. And you could also see that along with the schedule ID is given as a reference, and the action buttons are being kept on top. The reason why this has been done was earlier, every time the user had to do any action, they had to scroll down till the end of the screen and the action to be done. So for ease of the execution, we had put this two buttons on top, and the relevant buttons, it would be appeared on this panel, and it was also will be a freeze panel. So as you are reviewing the details and you are reviewed in the midway, you can still continue to do an update or a re-audit, whatever the next action is required. So this would give a performance for the reviewer to do a much quicker review here. And this details of the compliance disposition, all that will continue to be there. And then we have auditor comments, confidential remarks, if any, auditee response with the status, then reviewer comment, if any, and the notes to auditor will be shown. The due date is being mentioned here. Below that, we are giving the informations like digital evidence, court reference document and all, and these are accordion, where on click of the digital evidence, or you will be able to see if there are any digital evidences available. And you can also see I have a confidential digital evidence here, and it will have a details field which is like file that you can access when what was the timestamp it was being uploaded and who uploaded will be part of this information. If there is any change in the due date, those due date changes will be applicable. These screens will be dynamic according to the requirement, and the information on the compliance or the checkpoint related information can be seen in this screen. So I can just click, and as and when I have updated, the due date is been, and I'll just click on finalize. So I'll go to a different sub audit so that I can pick for the information. Let us take the CGT center meeting one, sorry. I'm picking a separate sub audit for me to just show you, and it's an annexure audits, which is which consists of PI. So this is the subaudit which has PI. So those who are using the annexures will have the information the similar way. The way the details will start with intent, compliance, disposition and all. The subaudit which is PIs will be listed on the left hand side, and all the executed will be shown on top, and the subaudits which are not executed or not found will be put down for a reference below. You can even increase the count on the page to have a better reviewer, and this also will be in a single screen review, and it will also continue to have the search here. The legends are being same, and you would like to go inside. For example, let us go inside any of the checkpoint and make some modification. Let me add a comment here to say that this is on the number updated the details. And I can click on update. Moment I have updated, there is a timestamp which can be seen, which you can identify which of this particular checkpoints were edited, and then the legends wise it will continue to have a legends as per the requirement here. So I have all in review stage which can be viewed here, and the details below. Now in the screen which I am presenting has all similar details like we had seen in the general group of information. However, there is a new information, additional information shown here, which I would like to talk about. Now, normal mode by default, it is a normal mode, which is in this table form where the subaudit level, where every checkpoint has been listed one below the other, and at a checkpoint intent level, the compliance dispositions are being provided. This mode will be very useful when you have a checkpoints in verification mode, and you have both compliance and input available, so that you can read this information in one below, where scrolling down you could be done. Now let us take, you have more PI where you would need to have a glance to know what has been happened. You have checkpoints, but you just, whether the checkpoint was complied or not, whether it is required, will be shown in a way that with the information in single view, if you would like to have in like how in an Excel you would like to do, we can go for a compact view. We have introduced a view called compact. So the same information where you're seeing where the subaudit 2 with the checkpoint intent one below the other will give you a different look when it is moved into compact. So I'm clicking on compact. Compact view will give you the information in a way that every row has single PI or a subaudit information against which the checkpoint intent or the checks whatever you have done and the auditor observation come in will be on considered as header, and this information the will below will give you an information collected by the auditor. So these are the checkpoint which are being verified, which is marked as yes. The total number is a input. So wherever the checkpoints are input, it would give you show you the input detail. When you have a checkpoint with verify, it gives you the compliance detail. So this compact view will give you a list of all the executed PIs in a table format, which can give you clear bifurcation of information to say that how the particular subaudit has been there. So if you have more checkpoints, it could be slightly scrollable. Otherwise, you would have the compact view here. And when you have more subaudits in the single view, you will be able to see this. This compact view is only for view purpose, where you can have a glance on how a subaudit is performed at the different checkpoint, and the information being collected by the auditor, and give you a compact view to know one glance on the review can be completed. So if you would wish to go back to the normal mode, you just click on the normal mode. So this is on the new compact field. So these were the items in the review audit module which I would wanted to demonstrate. So I've given you a walkthrough on how the new review audit module would work. So I will just try to final do a review of this once I would like to do any review. I can even tag this for re-audit, add a remarks, all that would be continue to have the information as it is the workflow being earlier worked on. So this is a new review audit module. If you have any queries, we'll be able to take it up now. And one of my requests is that this new review audit module will be enabled in the coming week to all of you with the old and new review audit module. We would request each and every review users to have an hands-on experience on this new review audit module and make a maximum utilization of this particular module. And also we would be sunsetting the old review audit module in a month's time, and there'll be no much support being provided on that. Hence, the go through for us is on the new review audit module, and request you all to have a more experience and share your feedbacks and the challenges, or if there is any improvements to be done. So that would be helpful for us to enhance our feature. So Swati, anything?
Yeah, Ramya, we have
Queries
two
to be taken up?
questions.
Yes.
Two questions. So, if direct resolution is given by auditee, whether button for update will be available along with the option to reopen or close. Just about the
Yes.
direct
Yeah,
resolution.
I didn't have a option to demonstrate here because I didn't have any direct resolution. So which the schedules which has the direct resolution, where we saw the update and re-audit button, there you will also have an option of reopen and close available for direct resolution, and similarly for spot resolution. If they just re-examine also, the relevant buttons of retain and drop will be shown on the same placeholder, which is the freeze pane which we saw here.
The next
I hope
question.
I have addressed that.
Okay. So the next question is how to set the issue resolve deadline. That's the contribution.
I think that question, is there any, can you ask for elaboration, please?
Yeah.
How to set the
Issue resolve deadline.
issue resolution deadline? I think I'm assuming it is due
Configuration.
date mapping. So due date functionality will continue to be on currently how it is. So if you have chosen for an automated due date calculation with the days of calculation, the due date would be computed. Otherwise, if it is proposed by auditing would give, and the due date will be shown on the review screen for the relevant checkpoint, which is tagged as issue.
If any further questions or clarifications, request you to kindly post it in the Q&A session.
Any feedback also can be added here. We are happy to take it on the Q&A, and your feedbacks also would be very important for us.
We have a feedback received. They say that this feature would be very useful while closing the compliances with lesser time. Thank you, Kusha.
So Q&A is open. If there are any more queries, please do write to us in the Q&A section. We would be happy to now answer that. Any queries from anyone? And this review audit module will be applicable for super admin, reviewer, or any new role who have access to the review audit module, same as earlier how it has been continuing. So it would work more or less the same with only enhanced UI and performances and new insights which has been provided for ease of the reviewer for his execution. We have a couple of more minutes to end the session. If there are any questions, we just request you to please post it here. I think Swati, I think there are no more questions.
Yes.
So you just take up the thank you note.
Yes, so thank you everyone. Thank you for your time and as said, we will be having we will be going live on the 15th October, and we will be running parallelly for next 1 month. That is the old review module and the new review module. Both will be running parallelly. Request all your support in exploring the new review module during that time frame, and let us know if any feedbacks or clarity or improvements that needs to be added. We will look at its feasibility and add it to our roadmap, and hope the new features that we have added in will help the reviewers to have the review in a much streamlined and a faster pace. Again, thank you everyone for your time and your presence in this webinar. Thank you.
Thank you all. Pleasure having you all here.